our struggles, our works, and our poverty, because we poor. And no matter how much money me or you make, we still poor overall, because it's not individually, it's our people as a whole. It reads, "But thou art rich," and that would be meaning rich in faith. But it says, "I know the blasphemy, and them which say they are Jews and are not, but are the synagogue of Satan." So the people who claim to be Israelis or Jewish, they will actually be the house of the wicked, and that's why they call themselves Jewish. Like if I say your shirt is reddish, it's not actually red. So same with the Jewish, they're being like the Jews. What they trying to do? They think because our people went off, let me see, pretty much in the idol worship, believing in the white Jesus. That's idol worship. Christianity is idol worship, because Christianity don't actually match up with the Bible. So the stuff, we lost our heritage and learned the ways of the world. So what they did, well, since the Lord's people are no longer living by the book, maybe we can write ourselves into the book. So that's what they try to do, moving themselves into the land and calling themselves Jewish. Oh, and I got some pictures just to show that we were actually those people. Some picture to go with the talk. You know Joseph in the Bible?
Joseph, yes.
So when his brothers came to Egypt, they had that great famine in Egypt. He pretty much fed the whole world. I believe he would have been a Puerto Rican. So one of your great relatives, you know, we not thugs, cartels, Indians, savages. And another thing too, we all got a common history of being oppressed by the so-called white man, which Caucasian or white people, that's not actually in the Bible neither. When you read the Bible, they're called the Edomites. So when Esau was born, which is, you know, we all had the conversation, where do white people come from? Are they the only people that don't got color? Well, Genesis 25 and 25 tell you that there was a woman, a black woman, she had twins. She had a white baby and a black baby.
Yeah.
I forget the scientific term, but that still happens today. But it says that the first came out red all over, and they called his name Esau. So that's why I got a red baby and a red man, because the Bible describes them as red people and not actually white. Because you can see they blood straight through their skin. Through mixing different races and nationalities, mixing, some of our people are real like these days. Hey, but if their fathers go back to one of these tribes, you know, they would be who their fathers are. And that's why they call themselves rednecks, because they know that they're actually red and not white. But besides that, before the Lord comes back to free his people, it's going to be a nationwide blackout, internet outages, a famine, purge, race wars. You seen that in Birmingham, Alabama. That's just a small preview for what's to come. Like going back to 2020 when they had the Black Lives Matter protests and riots. That's a small preview. That pandemic in 2020, that's a small preview. So pretty much all your end time apocalyptic movies gonna play out in real life.
So this is pretty much what you're saying is pretty much like how you're saying, like racial division. Because like I don't know if I don't know how many people know, but like I bet you could like point out a white guy and be like, okay, he's not, you know, like he's not that. Because I understand what you're saying, like they want to infiltrate or like they want to take over the power that's supposed to be. But you know, I'm not saying like these people.
They did try to set out pretty much to keep us blind to who we are, because of the Lord, the Bible, pretty much Bible prophecy, that when enough of the Lord's people return back to him, enough people, because all people won't, that's when he will pretty much free us of our captivity. Because in Exodus chapter 1, it tells you that the Israelites complained to the Lord, and the Lord heard their prayers. That's when he raised up Moses to free his people. The Lord has heard our prayers, and so we in the days that, you know, the second Exodus. But before all of that, you know about the mark of the beast. So Revelation 13:16, I can pretty much quote it off the top of my head. It says, he caused of all, both small, great, rich, poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads. So that mark is computer chips. You know about the Elon Musk brain chip? That's the chip or the mark that's gonna go in the head. The reason it's called a mark, they didn't have modern day terminology like computer chips and stuff like that. But they actually marking you. It's gonna have a barcode where they can track you, just like a product.
Yeah.
So that's the chip in the head. And then in the right hand, that's why they push it for electric vehicles. That's why they got all these talks of identity theft and cyber attacks.
Yeah.
They're gonna say you need to keep your funds. Pretty much they're gonna do away with paper money. I don't know how much you know about the dollar crashing.
Yeah.
Bad, you know about the BRICS nations.
BRICS nation.
So that's Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa, a bunch more African countries, a bunch of Middle Eastern countries, India, Japan, Cuba. Pretty much it's the new reserve currency because right now the US dollar is a reserve currency, meaning all countries in the world, when they buy gas and oil and make transactions, it's done in the US dollar. Well, Russia and China, they developed the new reserve currency, so all these countries don't have to do business with America because America is just a big bully for all kind of sanctions on people. That's why like Central and South America can't rise. That's why Africa can't really rise on the global economy because they got a lot of resources, but they get all these sanctions and taxes, heavy taxes on them. So pretty much when that BRICS current digital currency go live, the US dollar gonna drop tremendously. So the dollar gonna crash, and it's gonna be a new digital dollar. That's why your Bitcoin, cryptocurrency is booming. That's the new wave of the future. It's a digital currency. Now, digital currency, eventually they're gonna want to put it in your hand. As a matter of fact, while we're here, I could probably pull up a video real quick just to show you that we right here with it. Hold on. Let me see. All right, check this out. So we right here, you gonna see it more and more in the coming months. But they're gonna pretty much, it's gonna be a nationwide blackout, rolling blackouts throughout the US, and they're gonna bring that stuff in probably overnight. So and the thing too, let me get Revelation 13 to 17 real quick. Because the question, so they're gonna do away with paper money. They're gonna force that on people. Revelation 13 to 17. After they force it, it says, "And that no man might buy or sell, save he that had the mark, the name of the beast, or the number of his name." So you're not gonna be able to buy or sell, buy food and water, pay your bills, function in society unless you got that microchip. And it's a penalty for that microchip. So those who, you heard about the New World Order?
Yeah.
So the New World Order is going to be like a digital takeover and a depopulation thing. Anybody who don't take the microchip, they probably going to execute. No, I ain't going to say probably, they're going to execute them. But also, if you do take it, the Lord said you're going to be destroyed by fire. Christianity told us it was a place underground called hell.
Yeah.
So the fire not going to come from below. Hell is made up. The fire going to come from above. That fire going to come from nuclear missiles. Because the Lord said that he's going to destroy the earth, not with water this time, but fire.
Yeah.
And it's coming from above, let you know that it's coming from him. You know, nothing's going to come from underground.
Yeah.
So once upon a time, the Lord flooded the earth by making it rain with fire. Or this time he going to make it rain. He flooded the earth by making it rain with water. This time he gonna make it rain with fire. And if you look at a nuclear missile, it's shaped like a raindrop. You know what I mean? So the Bible called it strange rains. Not your traditional rain, but strange rains, you know, that bring a consuming fire. And that's how the earth gonna turn into a lake of fire. Everything on the surface gonna melt. The Lord's people gonna receive salvation. And from an aerial view, when they look down, they're gonna see America, the outline was gonna be completely engulfed in fire and lava, Europe, and other places of the world. So the lake of fire down underground is gonna be here on the earth. And America is the main lake of fire. Yeah, because you know about the war, Russia, Ukraine.
Yeah.
You know that China, North Korea, Iraq hate this place, and they all got hypersonic nuclear weapons.
Yeah.
America ain't got none yet. You got your phone on you? But I say if you're interested in learning more, I'll give you my YouTube channel.
Yeah, I mean, I just kind of wanted the gist of it.
Okay, that's I got
I
it.
just wanted to see, but it's nice to know like the whole like gay controversy, like what's going on.
Yeah,
So I never really dove into it, like what's going on.
So yeah, that's what it's about. You know, America. Anything that comes out that's truth or facts, you know, they gotta silence it somehow. So this is the rest of the message that Kanye was trying to speak on, but he didn't have the full understanding. So the true names of the Lord I got over here to the right, it would be Yahweh. Hey, I know kind of just seeing what's going on, but hey, you might come back into it later. You might want to learn more, but hey, the names of the Most High would be Yahweh. The name of the Son would be YAHAWASHI. The scriptures tell us that the name of the Father and the name of the Son would be just about identical. Like if you had a son, you might name your son after you.
Yeah, because I was as a kid, I stopped at 15, but I used to go to religion Jehovah's. The real name was Jehovah.
Yeah.
There's a lot of religions there.
Yeah.
A lot of branches to Christianity.
Yeah, the letter J is not a real letter.
Yeah.
Like in the Spanish language, you know, the J make a H sound.
Or a Y, yeah.
Yup. Yeah. And actually, how you say it make a Y sound, that goes back to Hebrew, because all the words that start with a Y in Hebrew,
Yeah.
they are spelled with a J now. So like Jacob is spelled with a J. In Hebrew, Jacob was spelled with a Y.
Yeah.
So that was a good observation. Hey, but yeah, so Yahweh, the Most High, YAHAWASHI would be the Son. But I gotta leave you with this too, though. So the Lord so the reason I'm out here, the Lord said, you know, if we know to do good and we do it not, it's a sin. That pretty much if we know information that can save people, that we don't share the information, we have blood on our hands. So scriptures also say that this message got to be preached to all nations so that all people will hear it. Then the end will come. The message pretty much circle the earth. But those of our people who hear the message and they kind of just brush it away, they don't seek the Lord for themselves. They pretty much marking themselves for judgment, because the Lord only coming back for a remnant of His people.
Yeah.
You know, that's going to believe on Him, believe according to what the scriptures say and not what the world say. So, if you let me give you my channel, and just you good?
Yeah,
Okay.
I think I'm good. Yeah,
Okay, that's good.
It's good to get the gist of like what other people think. You know, I just want to like.
Okay.
It's a good little summary that I appreciate you.
That's a summary. So when stuff started to come to pass, like America, like literally falling apart, going to a third world status, you know, just remember where you heard it, because the scriptures say when these things come to pass, they know that a prophet had been among them. Because the Christian pastors and other people that use the book, ain't nothing they say gonna happen. They say, God bless America, pray for America. The Lord is against this place. So when things come to pass, you're gonna remember who truly had the understanding of the Bible. And when those things come to pass, just remember those names and believe in all your heart.
I got you.
Hey, I appreciate it.
What's your name, bro?
Chris.
Chris.
Juan, okay, nice to meet you, bro. Hell yeah.
Take care, man.
I remember, hey, you an Israelite, you'll be from the tribe of Issachar.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just a lot.
Yeah, I know. I gave you a whole.
But yeah.
I gave you a whole
Yeah,
kind of
it's
spit, and it's a lot more to it. But
I got you.
yeah, I know. I kind of hit you with a lot, but yeah,
Yeah, no, I got you.
yeah, that's the best.
All right, man. You take care.
All right, bet.
Hey.
All right, thank you, bro.
I'll see you.
All right.
You said any one of these have a restaurant? Pretty much anywhere.
Yeah, pretty much. I think most of these restaurants are open now. Pretty much all of them. Ain't even these bars. Oh, they all got restrooms.
Yeah, I got it.
Like probably the coast.
I'll probably check this one out right here.
Oh, yeah. That might be a good place.
Appreciate it.
All right, bet, bro. Hey, Shalom to the brother Yawanathan Bakar, my brother Ahmawan Ibad, brother Mashak Yahawah's messengers, my sis Snap R, and Shalom to my mom, daughter of Yahawah, YAHAWASHI me outside Barakadam to y'all, the water for tuning in with me. All right. So, all right, so we gonna had a lesson planned out. Came out a little early. I got all kind of people in town. I wanted to try to visit today, and I know once I get moving, I want to come do the work first real quick. So I had a lesson. I'm gonna just try to get what I can out of it. I might make a sit down lesson out of the rest later, or just do a part 2 live lesson later on at home. But last week, being a brother Hope was out, in which that's why it's important to be in the chief place of concourse, you know. And where we at, it's the intersection, and people always got their phones out recording us, recording us. You know, we see it. You know, they try to roll up the windows and hide it, but we ain't hiding. You know, so we don't really care. But anyways, me and the brother Hope, Edomite lady pulled up on us, and she was like, "Hey, I'm trying to see what's going on." We're like, "All right, what's up?" So she said that somebody had took a picture of us and uploaded it to Facebook, and was like, "Hey, do y'all know what these guys are up to? Can somebody fill us in?" So she said she had sent out, you know, a group text and was like, "Hey, did anybody stop and ask them what they doing?" She said nobody, you know, everybody said no. So she said that she figured she would come ask us, you know, what we doing. So me and Hope gave her the whole rundown that they the Edomites. Hey, they destroyed everything, destroyed the Lord's people. So therefore, America gonna be judged by nuclear missiles, and that they would be going into captivity, and that we would be the Lord's people, and that we gonna reign over them. With a lot more to it. So we talked to her maybe like 5-7 minutes. So she was like, "Okay, I'm gonna go respond to these people now." Hey, so Lord willing, you know, she remember all the details, was able to share it with the people. But that's the point, hey, that people see us. Hey, calm, bro. Yeah. People see us. Hey, and this is the beginning of that persecution, you know, of the prophets. You know, and so hey, they watching. And especially yesterday we was out, we saw a lot more people with their phones out. And it's an open parking lot behind us, so we see all kind of people pulling up, stopping, driving off. And then we had one time an Edomite pulled up on us, you know, real smooth, was like, "Can he take a picture of us?" And me and Hope both noticed that his car, it must have been like an undercover car, because the front seat and the back seat had that divider. So that was kind of weird. But hey, they watching, and this is really the works of the Lord, because whatever they did, they just helped the message spread. You know, because the scriptures say that this gospel of the kingdom must be preached to all nations for a witness, then the end shall come. Hey, so the Lord, you know, had them taking pictures to put up to Facebook. Now, hopefully she made I don't know if she did a group text or a Facebook post, so a bunch of Edomites just got the message. All right, so I'm gonna get some scriptures real quick. You know, hey, and that makes sense. That's what these Edomites would do. Hey, and my bro Ahmawan, he said that our people, they see us on live. The first thing they say, "Oh, you on live? Let me get on camera." They don't know what we doing. They don't know what we talking about. Hey, we could be talking about a murder that we just did, or some crimes that we just acted on. And now you just want to be all up in our camera, you know? And that's our people, they foolish. Hey, but Esau, we're going to get into it. The Lord gave them a certain level of wisdom for the time being, you know? And I see it all the time. You know, when they approach me, they don't ask about being on camera. They ask, what we talking about? And can they get our YouTube channels? But I'm going to go to the book of Psalms, chapter 64. We're going to start from the top. A psalm of David. Hear my voice, O Yahweh, in my prayer. Preserve my life from the fear of the enemy. And that's ultimately our prayer, to be preserved from our enemies. Our chief enemy being Esau, the so-called white man. And especially the times that we coming into. Hide me from the secret counsel of the wicked and from the insurrection of the workers of iniquity. So we praying to be hid from the secret counsel of the wicked. How y'all doing? Y'all believe in the Bible? Oh, okay. So pretty much just doing a live lesson on Bible prophecy. Bible prophecy said that in the last days that the Lord's people will be oppressed, and at the bottom, that's why I got a sign right here with the 12 tribes of Israel. Was to be the African Americans, the Native Americans, and the Latin American people, the South Central North America. That pretty much we will be the Lord's people. And I got some pictures of the actual ancient Israelites, just showing that we were those people. Because the people in the land of Israel, in Jerusalem right now, the Jewish, are not the real people. They're just trying to be like the people. That's why they call themselves Jewish. But Bible prophecy said that in the last days, that the Lord's people will wake up to who they are. And then how the Lord destroyed Egypt to free his people from their captivity in Egypt, the Lord's going to do the same thing to America. And that destruction will come by fire, by nuclear missiles. That's why we see what's going on with Russia and Ukraine. That's going to morph into World War III. Because now Russia, China, North Korea, they all got hypersonic missiles. And they got them aimed at America. You know, America made a lot of enemies over the years. So Bible prophecy said that in the last days, that he will raise up all these great nations to come up against Babylon, which Babylon is a code word for America. And that before all that, America gonna completely fall apart. It's gonna be blackouts, famines, riots and purging, all that kind of stuff before they bring the mark of the beast. What is that RFID microchip and Elon Musk Neuralink brain chip? Scriptures say that they're going to put a mark in the right hand and in the forehead. Now, I don't know if y'all seen maybe on TikTok people paying for groceries and stuff with their hand because they got the chip in it. Oh, okay. Yeah, I just showed the guy on my phone, but it's growing. It's gonna become more prevalent over the coming months. Because the dollar is going to crash. I don't know how much y'all know about that in the BRICS nation. But when the dollar crash, they're going to bring a new digital currency. Paper money going to be done away with. That's why Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies are booming. But when the dollar collapses, that's when they're going to bring the digital currency and force that microchip on everybody. So yeah, that's about it. Oh yeah, for sure. Appreciate y'all stopping by.
Yeah, have a great day.
All right, you too. All right, so hide me from the secret counsel of the wicked. What's the secret counsel of the wicked? Well, first, who is the wicked? Malachi 1:4. And they shall call Edom the border of wickedness. So they would be the house of the wicked. And why is David saying, hide me from the secret counsel of the wicked? Think about all our people that got lynched, hung, all kind of stuff done to them, in darkness or in secret. Hey, in that secret counsel of the wicked, they in council right now coming up with wicked schemes from the insurrection of the workers of iniquity, who wet their tongue like a sword. So wet their tongue, meaning to sharpen their tongue. How do they sharpen their tongue like a sword? Well, they go behind closed doors and they write up laws and legislations that target us, such as with the pandemic. They said they needed to roll out those doses, to the Negroes and the Hispanic people first. And a lot of these, forgive me, it's kind of early. Those government contingency plans like the King Alfred plan, Him, Operation I think Garden Plot. You know, these government plans that they gonna institute when America fall apart. Those things were written to target us. Like I know for sure, the King Alfred plan, they got it where they can successfully arrest and detain everybody of African and Mexican descent in America in an 8 hour period. You know, they got it broken down hour by hour how they will arrest and detain all of us nationwide. So that first hour, the first people they would get those of our people that's in the military or in law enforcement or got any kind of high government ranking position. You know, that makes sense because they figure that them people will be trained. They know how the government work. They can probably build up a resistance. So that's the secret council of the wicked. That's them wetting their tongue like a song. Dang, I got dyslexia. That's them wetting their tongue like a sword and bend their bows to shoot their arrows, even bitter words. What are those arrows? That's their words. They make their laws and legislation to target us. And we're going to see that ain't coming to play in the coming months. And even martial law, you know, the Constitution ain't going to stand no more. We the people, that only stand in time of peace. Martial law literally breaks down to warlike law. So the law that'll stand in times of war. And what's coming to America is the Civil War, a 2.0 and 3.0 all at once. All right, let me go to verse 3. Verse 4, that they may shoot in secret at the perfect. So they wetting their tongue like a sword, shooting their bitter words as arrows at us to shoot at secret at the perfect. Who would the perfect be? It would be the service of the Lord. Not perfect in the flesh, but perfect in understanding. You know, those who will return to the word in these last days. Let me see. That they may shoot in secret at the perfect. Suddenly do they shoot at him and fear not. All right, they encourage themselves in the evil matter. They commune of laying snares privily. They say, who shall see them? Yeah, so they encourage one another to do evil. Like for those who saw the clip. You know, it was in Congress. It was these Edomites at a round table. I think they was discussing ways of execution that they want to make law, that they want to put into effect. And one Edomite said, you know, I got one more idea. You know, can we bring back a method of execution by hanging on the tree? You know, can we bring that back? So that's them encouraging themselves in the evil matter. You know, they really had a round table, you know, hundreds, probably thousands of Edomites, these different meetup spots. And all they do is put laws in effect to how they could come up against us. So this is a point in verse 6. They search out iniquities. They accomplish a diligent search. Both the inward thought of every one of them and the heart is deep. Yeah, so they search out iniquities, you know. And if you think of any kind of heinous, nasty act, crime that you could think of, that be like, I bet ain't nobody did this yet. If you type it in Google, Esau the white man already did it. They looking for new things to do, you know, looking for new wickedness day by day, because they search out iniquities. That's why you got the movie They Clone Tyrone, cloning facilities, cloning humans, animals, mixing the seed of different animals, making new creatures. They search out iniquity. You know, every day it's something else gay that come out. You know, they're writing their laws and legislation to put LGBTQ stuff in effect. How they say they want to rewrite the Bible to include transgenders. How they say they want AI to rewrite the Bible to make it actually correct. They search out iniquities. You know, they literally are just thinking, imagine, you know, what can we do next to put the world in further darkness? All right. They search out iniquities. They accomplish a diligent search. Hey, that's Esau. He accomplished a diligent search. The Lord put the spirit of being an investigator on these Edomites. They like investigators. Hey, that's why our people, out of their ignorance, they see us. First thing they want to do, they want to hop on camera. Hey, but Esau, he comes up like an investigator. What you talking about? First thing they want to ask you is your name. They want to ask how old you are, where you go to church, where you learn this at. They want to know where you work at. They want to know other people that you're in contact with. They come up like an investigator. They want to get the YouTube channels, clearly seeing that they got nothing to do with this. But they accomplished a diligent search. And that's what they did to me and the brother Hope. And all you other brothers out there. They snapping pictures of y'all and they putting it online, asking other people, do y'all know what these guys are up to? Hey, because if it was being niggas on the block, rapping, weed, smoking, women out there twerking, hey, they wouldn't ask nobody, hey, what are they up to? Because those of our people that do that stuff, they doing exactly what the white man wants you to do. After you seen the movie They Clone Tyrone, Esau created the whore, he created the pimp, and he created the gangster. Through the music, entertainment, and that's the image that he forced upon our people. That's them accomplishing a diligent search, searching out iniquities, and long as our people are doing those things, that's exactly what Esau wants them to do. Hey, but when you see us, being orderly, pushing out information, got books, now they curious. All right, but they search out iniquities, they accomplish a diligent search. Both the inward thought of every one of them and the heart is deep. Hey, so Esau, the white man, hey, they thoughts in their heart, hey, they deep. They search out iniquities, they search out wickedness. Hey, and the Lord put that spirit on them. He gave them a certain level of wisdom to be like the investigator of the earth. Hey, in science, the scientific method, that's nothing but them being investigators. Because what investigators do, they have a thought or a question, they gather the evidence, and they come up with a conclusion. The scientific method, hey, Esau the white man, he come up with a hypothesis, which is a scientific question. Like if we do this, this should lead to this. They run the trials, the experimentation, they make observations, they gather data, and then they come up with a conclusion. Hey, so Esau Edom, whether a scientist or an investigator, hey, that's the spirit that the Lord put on them. So I'm gonna go to the book of Ezra real quick. Ezra chapter 3, verse 1. Hey, and Ezra 4, verse 1. Hey, this is why we don't give Esau Edom our YouTube channels. Now, if they stumble upon our channels doing their diligent search, hey, they can see. But we just not giving our YouTube channels to people who don't fit the sign according to their fathers. Like YAHAWASHI said, I come not but into the lost sheep of the house of Israel. But we're going to get Ezra chapter 4, verse 1. Now, when the adversaries of Judah and Benjamin heard that the children of the captivity builded the temple unto Yahweh, God of Israel. So when the second temple was being built by the southern kingdom, Judah, Benjamin, and Levi, the adversaries or the heathen Gentile nations, and they came up to the campsite. And let's see what happened. Then they came to Zerubbabel and to the chief of the fathers and said unto them, let us build with you. So they were saying, let us, build the temple with you. And anytime Esau want to do something with us, he pretty much just want to infiltrate it so he can find out the ins and outs about it and pretty much destroy it and bring it down. All right, let us build with you, for we seek your God as ye do. And we do sacrifice unto him since the days of Asarhaddon, king of Assur, which brought us up hither. And what are we building? This is the third temple. It's a spiritual temple. It ain't physical. So they want to try to fit themselves into what we're doing, or include themselves, or just be in the mix of it. It's none of their business, aside from hearing their judgment and hearing prophecy. But Zerubbabel and Jeshua, and the rest of the chief of the fathers of Israel said unto them, ye have nothing to do with us to build a house unto our God. Yeah, so they got nothing to do with us returning back to the Heavenly Father. They got nothing to do with us that they need our YouTube channels. Hey, we just gonna give it to them. But we ourselves together will build unto Yahweh our God, God of Israel, as King Cyrus, the king of Persia, have commanded us. All right, so that's why we don't give them the YouTube channels. Verse 4, then the people of the land weakened the hands of the people of Judah and troubled them in building. So what's them weakening our hands today? Striking our YouTube channels, taking the channels down. They want to disrupt the live lesson, cause all kind of chaos and drama, hey, so that we got to stop. That's them troubling our hands to frustrate this building of the temple. Verse 5, and hired counselors against them to frustrate their purpose. So yeah, I know my bro Ahmawan, some Edomites, after they got told their judgment, they paid some young Jake, you know, to pretty much be a nuisance. Put it that way. Paid them to be a nuisance. And Esau do that today. They hire counselors, secret agents, to frustrate what we're supposed to be doing. And that woman come to take a picture of me and Hope, you know, so she didn't get paid for it, you know, wasn't that serious. Hey, that was a prime example. You know, people get wind of this, what's going on, and somebody gonna be sent to inquire. All right, and hire counselors against them to frustrate their purpose all the days of Cyrus, king of Persia, even until the reign of Darius, king of Persia. All right, so now we're gonna go to the book of Ezekiel, chapter 28. Hey, shalom to my brother Samayam Lab, Juju 144. YAHAWASHI me outside Barak Abba. All right, 2 Corinthians from the brother Yawanathan, 13 and 8. For we can do nothing against the truth before the truth. And yeah, and Esau, you know, the BS that he do, that it just proves that he's Esau. You know, it proves that this is the building of the temple. Hey, because when we making rap videos and doing all kind of foolishness, hey, Esau don't try to stop that. Hey, but this they try to stop. So the good and the bad, hey, everything is for the truth. All right, Ezekiel chapter 28, we're gonna start at verse 3. Behold, thou art wiser than Daniel. There is no secret that they can hide from thee. All right, so this was talking to the prince of Tyrus, hey, but in the spirit, this fits Esau today. You know, that they will be wiser than Daniel. There's nothing that can be hid from them. You know, everything that we know and believe through the spirit, hey, Esau know it and believe it through his science. You know, Esau got evidence that there's a spiritual world, you know, a world that governs this physical world. Hey, Esau see the chariots, and y'all seen the videos. Esau done seen the holy angels. Hey, it's nothing that can be hid from this devil. This devil can splice DNA, combine fragments and sections of DNA. He can split atoms. That's how you got the nuclear weapons. For the most part, anything that Esau can imagine, he can just about bring it to pass. That's why they merge in man and machine. You know, y'all done seen the Iron Man suit. You know, y'all done seen the movies. All the stuff that they put in movies, Esau already in the works, bringing it out. Verse 4, with thy wisdom and with thy understanding, thou hast gotten thee riches. Hey, that's how Esau got his riches, his wisdom and understanding. And has gotten gold and silver into thy treasures. So yeah, Esau got to the point that he's at in the earth by his wisdom and understanding. But we know that in the last days, that the Lord would make wisdom vanish from Edom. And that makes sense when we come to Daniel 2 and 21. And he changed up the times and the seasons. This is the rulership, rising and falling of different empires. He changed up the times and the seasons. He removeth kings instead of up kings. He giveth wisdom unto the wise and knowledge to them that know understanding. So for Esau to rise into power, for Esau to be set up as king for a certain amount of time, he was given a certain level of wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. To exalt him above the rest of the people. And, to solidify his place as the next ruler of the earth. So that's why, he was wiser than Daniel. That's why there was nothing that could be hidden from him. But Esau, having their wisdom taken away from them, that's doing what? That's removing them out of power, removing them from being kings of the earth. And that's how the Lord, even we, the nation of Israel, fell. When we lost our wisdom, knowledge, and understanding of how to keep the law. We knew how to keep the law, but we didn't act on that wisdom. All right, we're going to go to the book of Luke, chapter 16, verse 8. Luke 16 and 8. And the Lord commended, this is a parable, I'm just going straight to the point. And the Lord commended the unjust steward because he had done wisely. For the children of this world are in their generation wiser than the children of light. Who is the children of light? Would be the Lord's people. In this generation, well, not so much now, because their wisdom is being taken from them. But prior to us coming back into this truth, Esau, Edom, through his wisdom of the world, was wiser than us, than the children of light. I mean, look how far they got as a people for being cavemen. But now the Lord is taking that wisdom, and that's why they falling. They hit the ceiling. When you up, the only place you can go is down. Shalom to my cousin Yasha Allah. 144, my cousin Torrance. YAHAWASHI Barakadam to y'all. And the Walla, cuz. All right. So now we're going to go to the book of Matthew 6 and 7. Matthew 6 and 7. Damn, that's not it. 6 and 7? Matthew 26. Matthew 7 and 6. All right. Give not that which is holy unto the dogs. Who would the dogs be? The other nations. Even those of our people, who walk into the world. Neither cast ye your pearls before swine. Who would the swine be? Esau, Edom, the so-called white man. And I did 2 videos, one in-depth video showing that when you see this word swine or the wild boar or even a parable, when a herd of swine ran violently down the mountain, that's all talking about Esau. What the Lord tell Esau? I will roll thee down from the rocks. So the herd of swine running violently down the mountaintop, and then they perish in the sea. That represents them being rolled down from the rocks. Represent the fall of their rulership. Ultimately, to perish not in the sea of water, but in the sea of fire. And that's why we don't give them our YouTube channels. Because what would this pearl be? It would be this truth. So, okay, give not which is holy unto the dogs, neither cast ye your pearls before swine, lest they trample them under their feet and turn again and rend you. To rend you is to tear you down, to break you down. So ultimately, that's what they want to do. Get the YouTube channels so they can do screen recordings, put it on the Facebook community tab, put your picture out there, make you America's most wanted, call you a terrorist, black identity extremist, a racist, a hate group, get you fired from your job, have people following you to your car, following you home. That's ultimately what they want to do. That's how Esau get down. He a coward. He not gonna do nothing to us physically, but he gonna try to destroy our name through character assassination. Now, at a certain point, that's gonna happen anyway. But in the meanwhile, we gotta keep functioning, to provide for our families. That's why they don't get the YouTube channels. But if they come out here and our bosses see us, to hell with it. It is what it is. The Lord got something else lined up for us. But that's ultimately what these devils want to do. They're going to take that which is holy and try to use that to tear us down. And and that's why also when we come to the book Matthew 24, verse 10, it reads, and then shall many be offended. Hold on. Yeah, then many shall be offended and shall betray one another and shall hate one another. Hey, because even our own 2/3 of our people get offended at this message. Hey, and that's gonna lead to the persecution of the saints. So when we go up to verse 9, it reads, then shall they deliver you up to be afflicted, and shall kill you, and you shall be hated of all nations for my name's sake. Hey, but that's the focus for now. That we will be hated of all nations for the namesake of YAHAWASHI. Not hated just by these white Edomites, but also by the 2/3 of our people. That we will be hated of all nations for his name's sake. And it says they shall deliver you up to be afflicted. And those are the days that we're coming into. Hey, Edomites putting a picture of us on Facebook, it shows just that. That's why the brother Yumanathan posted, you could do nothing against the truth before the truth. Hey, because we standing on the words of Yahweh Bashim Yahawashi. And Esau, he's setting his foot forward, accomplishing that diligent search, trying to make us public enemy number one. All right, so we're going to go also to the book of Mark, chapter 13, verse 9. We're going to get Mark 13, verse 9. Because remember, they're going to deliver us to be afflicted. But take heed to yourselves, for they shall deliver you up to councils. And in the synagogues, you shall be beaten. What's the white man's synagogues? They courthouses. And you shall be brought before kings and rulers for my sake, for a testimony against them. Hey, so eventually, we're going to be arrested and detained, for this truth. Hey, but that's all part of the Lord's plan to make this gospel published and heard among all nations. Now I'm gonna read this in the NLT. When these things begin to happen, watch out. You shall be handed over to the local councils, the authorities, law enforcement, and beaten in the synagogues. You will stand trial before governors and kings because you are my followers, but this will be your opportunity to tell them about me. So we're going to stand on trial for this word. All right, take care now, bro. All right. All right, so we're going to stand on trial for this word. Pretty much us being out here on the front line right now, hey, this is going to make it easy when we actually do have to stand on trial before kings and governors, hey, for this truth. All right, let me see. Verse 10. And the gospel must be first published among all nations. So even when we stand on trial to testify against them, hey, that's our mission continuing in the courtroom. You're going to have to do the room in the courtroom. Bring out a testimony to those that we sent on trial before. All right, let's continue. But when they shall lead you and deliver you up, take no thought beforehand where you shall speak. Neither do you premeditate, but whatsoever shall be given you in that hour, that speak ye, for it is not ye that speak, but the Holy Spirit. So when we stand on trial before the heads of the New World Order, before the military police, before Sloppy Joe and Bill Gates and Klaus Schwab, the Lord said, take no thought what you're gonna say. Don't practice, don't rehearse. Hey, don't be losing sleep over it. Don't be nervous. Hey, the Lord gonna speak for you. Hey, those are the days that we coming into. For all you brothers, that's out here on the front lines. Hey, don't be surprised that more law enforcement start rolling up. And like I said before, us being on the front line, that makes it easier now to stand before them behind closed doors. If we can do it openly in public in their face. All right, let me see. All right, and that's the next part. We're going to go to Mark chapter 8, verse 38. Hey, and that's the importance of being in the chief place of concourse. Because really, confessing the name of Yahweh Bashim Yahawashi, it starts right here. Hey, it don't just start behind closed doors when we standing on trial. It start right now. If you can't stand in front of everybody in a safe place, how you gonna do it in a more dangerous place when your life on the line? Because ain't nobody doing no harm to us out here. They ain't got no electric chair out here. They ain't got no guillotine and no chopping block out here. But when we stand on trial, they're gonna have all these different ways of execution before us. The chopping block, the guillotine, the firing squad, being hanged by on a tree, the electric chair, and they're gonna have all this stuff set before us. And if you can't confess the name and stand on the word of YAHAWASHI YAHAWASHI right now, how you gonna do it then? So that's why this is a good practice, becoming more bold in the spirit. And, you know, and these skills that we develop out here, and being in the chief place of concourse, they're gonna translate and carry over to the next part of the ministry. Hey, brother, we ministering to the remnant, the elect in the wilderness, or we ministering and testifying against the Gentiles in the courtroom. You know, it carries over. And even us being out here in the elements, sun, rain, hail, sleet, and snow. And that's gonna translate in Jacob's trouble. We already used to being outside anyway, you know, not doing nothing. Rest of the people, they outside, but they in transit from air conditioner to air conditioner, from heater to heater. You know, they not really out here in nature. So, hey, the Lord in secret, hey, building us up for the times to come. You know, speak about the foolishness of preaching. You know, being out here day to day might seem foolish, but them skills gonna carry over. Mark 8:38. Mark 8:38. Mark 8:38. Forgive me, even when I read with my phone, I like to keep the Bible in my hand, because it's the most recognizable book on the planet. Mark 38:8. Whosoever therefore shall be ashamed of me and of my words in this adulterous and sinful generation, of him also shall the Son of Man be ashamed when he cometh in the glory of his Father with the holy angels. So if you ashamed of the word right now, the Lord gonna be ashamed of you at his return. He gonna be ashamed to confess your name before the Heavenly Father if you ashamed to confess his name in the earth. Because it ain't so much confessing the name. Yeah, I believe in YAHAWASHI and Yahweh. It ain't so much the name, it's the word. The Lord said, roughly paraphrasing, he put his word above his name. So this ultimately what we got to stand on. All right. So again, whosoever therefore should be ashamed of me and of my words in this adulterous and sinful generation, of him also shall the Son of Man be ashamed. So if you ashamed to stand before the people, hey, the Lord gonna be ashamed to stand up for you before the Heavenly Father. So that's the importance of being out in the chief place of concourse. You know, being ashamed of the word, hey, that don't mean that you don't believe in it. That don't mean that you won't speak it in the bushes somewhere. That means you won't stand up with it in the face of the people, you know, in great boldness. Because the scriptures also speak about standing in great boldness in the face of such as afflicted him. Matter of fact, let me go there real quick. I think I remember what I said. I think that's Wisdom of Solomon 5. And then shall the righteous man stand in great boldness before the face of such as have afflicted him. Hey, so what can y'all say about that? People that's hiding in the bushes. You got to stand in great boldness in the face of such as have afflicted us, took us into captivity. That's standing in great boldness. You know, the Lord said he made our face hard against their face. So they hard-headed for wickedness, we hard-headed for righteousness. That's standing boldly. You can only stand boldly when you got opposition or resistance. Ain't no opposition or resistance, hey, where a lot of people starting to teach at. And it says, the righteous man shall stand in great boldness before the face of such as have afflicted him and made no account of his labors. And we know who made no account of our labors. Hey, Esau, the so-called white man. So that's who we stand before. First and foremost, against Mount Seir. And also against the 2/3 of our people that joined under Esau, making themselves enemies to Yahawashi. So that's standing in great boldness. If you're not standing in great boldness, you ashamed of the word. You don't want to be seen by the people. You don't want to be pointed at. You don't want the camera on you. You ashamed of the word. Because if any other nation of people had this word like we got it, they'd be all over the place. If Esau had this word, hey, Esau would be stunting on us with this word. All right, so all right, we're gonna finish out. Let me see. We're gonna go to the book of Acts, chapter 28, real quick. Hey, Shalom to my brother Kalab, hope grace and mercy. How about Shimi outside Barakathon to you? Acts chapter 28. So we're gonna hit Acts chapter 28. Because remember what we read, that they shall deliver us up to kings and governors, to be tortured in the synagogues, and that we're gonna be brought before them to testify against them, further spreading the gospel. That's what happened to Paul. So we're gonna get that in the book of Acts. Book of Acts. Acts 28. We're gonna get Acts 28. We're gonna start at verse 16. Now I believe the backstory to this, that the Jews had pretty much delivered up Paul, I guess, to be arrested. It's been a while since I went into this. Willing, if anybody correct me if I'm incorrect, but I believe Paul was delivered up by the Jews to the Romans, and they pretty much went on the voyage. And at this point, Paul was pretty much brought before the government at that time, for lack of better words. And when we came to Rome, the centurion delivered the prisoners to the captain of the guard, but Paul was suffered to dwell by himself with the soldier that kept him. Hey, so Paul was brought before the Romans. And let's see what happened. And it came to pass that after 3 days, Paul called the chief of the Jews together. And when they were come together, he said unto them, men and brethren, though I have committed nothing against the people or customs of our fathers, yet I was delivered prisoner from Jerusalem into the hands of the Romans. So yeah, the wicked of our people delivered up Paul to the Romans, just as they did Yahawashi. So Paul called the elders of our people, the elders of the Jews, like, yo, I didn't do nothing. But let's continue. Who, when they had examined me, would have let me go, because there was no cause of death in me. And so the Romans examined Paul, just like they examined Yahawashi, and it was willing to let him go. And but because of the people, they delivered up, ultimately crucified Yahawashi, but ultimately Paul was delivered, arrested too, made a prisoner. Hey, but when the Jews spake against it, I was constrained to appeal unto Caesar. Not that I had aught to accuse my nation of. So the people revolted and demanded that Paul will be brought before Caesar. And although Paul was brought before Caesar, he still didn't want to lay any accusations against that of his people. Let's continue. For this cause, therefore, I have called for you to see you and to speak with you, because that for the hope of Israel, I am bound with this chain. And what's that chain? That's his ministry. And that's what that's us now. We set our hands to the plow, pretty much made a vow up to Yahweh Bashim Yahushua, and to be a servant, through the good and bad, thick and thin. All right. And they said unto him, we neither received letters out of Judea concerning thee, neither any of the brethren that came shewed or spake of any harm of thee. So the elders of the Jews say, we got no letters about you. Nobody spake anything against you. Let's continue. But we desire to hear of thee what thou thinkest. For as concerning this sect, we know that everywhere it is spoken against. Now in the NLT, they say, we want to hear your side of the story. We want to hear the message, because we know this sect, this movement, is spoke against. So the ministry that Paul was doing to the Gentiles, it was spoke against. And we doing the same acts of the apostles. Because they call it a Black Hebrew Israelite movement. You know, it's a great awakening. It's actually a ministry. Hey, but this movement, if you want to call it that, it spoke against as well. Not just by the Gentile nations, but also the wicked 2/3 of our people. You know, they speak against this. And back to Mark 13 and Matthew 24, when it says, many shall be offended and shall betray one another. That betrayal not gonna come from the Gentile nations. The betrayal gonna come from that of our own people, which we'll touch back on in a minute. But you know, Paul was brought before Caesar only to do what? That the elders of the Jews would be called to him, so that what? That Paul could minister to them. The testimony of YAHAWASHI YAHAWASHI. But we desire to hear of thee, what thou thinkest, for as concerning this sex, we know that everywhere it is spoken against. And when they had appointed him a day, there came many to him and to his lodging. So a specific day, many people came to Paul. Let's see what happened. To whom he expounded and testified the kingdom of Yahweh. So the many that came to Paul, Paul gave them the testimony. You know, the gospel of the kingdom was preached unto them. And he expounded on it. What's expounded on it? That's when you go in depth and explaining something. All right, let me read that again. And when they had appointed him a day, there came many people to him and to his lodging, to whom he expounded and testified of the kingdom of Yahweh, persuading them concerning Yahawashi, both out of the law of Moses and out of the prophets, from morning until evening. So probably like 10, 12, 14 hours, Paul was preaching the gospel of the kingdom, testifying to his people, from morning until night. And what was he reading out of? Out the book of Moses and out of the prophets, reading out the Old Testament. For the New Testament junkies that say the Old Testament was done away with or it don't matter. The New Testament was built off the Old Testament. Because these acts were still being recorded at that time. So the things that was going on couldn't be written about if it ain't happened yet. But they had the Old Testament. But the things written back then was written now for our learning. You know, I think Romans 15:4. All right, verse 24. Some believe the things which were spoken, and some believe not. That's always the story with our people. Half our people don't never believe. Well, they don't believe today. And because when we be brought before kings and governors for the namesake of YAHAWASHI YAHAWASHI, it might be some of our people that stand on trial against us. Some of them at that moment when we stand on trial, some of them gonna be persuaded and seal themselves for the elect. But the 2/3 of our people, they just gonna further condemn themselves. Well, you can't further condemn yourself. They just gonna solidify themselves as being marked for judgment, even when they don't believe when we stand on trial against them. So back to Mark chapter 9 and 13. Back to Mark chapter 13 and 9. All right. But take heed to yourselves, for they shall deliver you up to councils, and in the synagogues you shall be beaten. That's what's coming to us. That's what happened to Yahawashi. And somewhat happened to Paul, and to many of the other prophets and apostles. You know, and you should be brought before rulers and kings for my sake, for a testimony against them. But when they shall lead you and deliver you up, take no thought beforehand which you shall speak. Neither do you premeditate, but whatsoever shall be given you in that hour, that speak ye. For it is not ye that speak, but the Holy Spirit. All things are inspired by the Holy Spirit. That's why the Edomites that pulled up on being the brother Hope, that showed me in them times where the persecution in the service to prophets being delivered up, becoming closer and closer. Because now these Edomites doing a diligent search. Yo, what are they up to? We seeing them everywhere. What is this sex? What is this movement? And when they hear it, they gonna speak against it. Because in the white community, that's gonna become a thing. You know, they got Facebook pages and different groups on Facebook. There's gonna be different Facebook groups and community pages that's dedicated to speak against this ministry. You know, we're gonna be uploading our pictures, screenshots, screen recordings, names and information. You know, our name not gonna be on the wanted sign on the telephone pole. It's gonna be on Facebook or Twitter, whatever else. All right. Now we're gonna go to the book of Matthew 10 and 21 real quick. Matthew 10 and 21. And the brother shall deliver up the brother to death, and the father, the child, and the children shall rise up against their parents and cause them to be put to death. Yeah, so again, it says the brother shall deliver up the brother to the death. Hey, so some of our people, they're gonna put the 2/3 to death, the wicked of our people. Hey, but the heathen not gonna be able to do nothing against us if we're the elect. Hey, some of us, our last mission is gonna be to stand on trial for this word. But that's why it says the brother shall deliver up the brothers to the death, deliver us up to the Romans. Esau, the so-called white man. So they're going to deliver up the brother to the death. They're going to deliver, the 2/3 of our people going to deliver us up in hopes of putting us to death. Some of us will die for the sake of the, for the word of YAHAWASHI. Forgive me, y'all. Salakia. Forgive me, a bunch of stuff going on. Salakia. All right, so yeah, the brother gonna deliver up the brothers to the death. That's the 2/3 of our people. They're gonna deliver us up to the white man, just as they delivered up Yahawashi to the Romans, just as they delivered Paul to the Romans. Also, too, we gonna grab John 15 and 20. John 15 and 20. John 15 and 20. Remember the word that I say unto you. The servant is not greater than his Lord. If they have persecuted me, they will also persecute you. Hey, so what happens to Yahawashi? We should expect nothing less. They will, if they have kept my saying, they will keep yours also. And ultimately, why was he delivered up and persecuted for his word? We're going to be persecuted, not necessarily for his name. Well, his name is on the word, but not necessarily the name, but the words for these sayings in his book. So they kept his saying, they keep our saying, and use it against us, at a later time. But all these things will they do unto you for my name's sake, because they know not him that sent me. So yeah, just as Yahawashi was delivered up to the Romans, so with Paul, us being the men of the Lord, possibly the believers too, we should expect nothing less. But hope that Yahawashi deliver us out of that. All right. And that's gonna bring about what? Because what's really coming up next is Isaiah 19 and 2. And I will set the Egyptians against the Egyptians, and they shall fight every one against his brother, and every one against his neighbor, and city against city, kingdom against kingdom. Egyptian against Egyptian, code word for Americans. So, everybody that live here will be considered an American, although we know we the Israelites. But that's the riots, the race wars, the purges. What happened in Birmingham, Alabama, that's Egyptian against Egyptian, nation against nation. Or the Shedamite snapping pictures, or the people taking pictures of me and the brother Hope, put it on Facebook, asking what these guys doing. The other sincere men that's going through the same thing, that's going to lead to what? Egyptian against Egyptian. These Edomites eventually going to want to stand up against us with firearms. That's going to contribute to America being divided. Civil wars happening in this place. That's what it's going to turn into. And these low-level Edomites, that's who's gonna be doing the riots and the purging in the streets of America. The lower-level Edomites, your local rednecks. But the higher-level Edomites, they gonna come after us too. They gonna come afterward through martial law. The military, the UN troops. It's gonna be an international effort by these Edomites military to come up against us. That's why when we read Revelation 12 and 12, therefore rejoice you heavens and you that dwell in them, but woe unto the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea. For the devil, who is the white man, the Romans, the Edomites, is come down unto you having great wrath, because he knoweth that he hath for a short time. He see that his kingdom has completely fell apart from the inside, and that's when he's gonna come down having great wrath. And not even just in America, but outside of America. He losing his grip on the world. But it says he's gonna come down having great wrath. And having great wrath, let's prove that involves them coming up against us with their military. But when we come down to verse 17, and the dragon, who is the white man, the devil, evil has many names. The dragon was wroth with the woman and went to make war with the remnant of her seed. So that proves that involves their military. Because how else is the devil gonna make war against us? He can't outsmart us, not when we standing on his word. He can't physically stand up against us, man for man. He can only stand up against us with his military. Plus Esau's blessing was a sword. Hey, so when all else fails, that's what he stands on. And went to make war with the remnant of her seed. Esau carried out wars with his military. That's why he got the war on drugs. They pretty much using the military to war against those of our people, that's selling drugs at a high level. And they law enforcement, they get those of our people on a lower level. It's a war on something, war on terror, war on drugs, war on the pandemic, war on the truth. So it went to make war with the remnant of her seed, which keep the commandments. That's the elect. And not just the commandments, but this word. And had the commandments of Yahweh and the testimony of YAHAWASHI HaMashiach. So that's what's going to turn, from these Edomites spying on us. That's going to turn to the race wars and the persecution of the saints. Now this is the last one I'm going to get, the book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 16. We're going to start at verse 70. For there shall be in every place and in the next cities, every city, every ghetto in America, a great insurrection upon those that fear the Lord. The remnant who keep the commandments of Yahweh and got the testimony of YAHAWASHI. They shall be like madmen, sparing none, but still spoiling and destroying those that fear the Lord. And so those who stand on his word, it's us that they after. And the non-believers, the 2/3 of our people, they still after you too. Because Esau Edom want to cut off the bloodline of Israel from the earth. Salakia, one moment. Hey, babe. Oh, hold on. Yeah, you said get us a booth. Yeah, you said get a booth, right? Yeah, I read it, babe. I was reading it on camera. Yeah, we still going. No, I thought you were still gonna meet me up there. That's why I put down the street. I thought it canceled. I just said never mind, but I still wanted to go anyway before we go out of town. So you on the way? Yeah, just for future reference, I'm not gonna change our plans or something like that. But if I do gotta cancel for some reason, I would just say that. That's why I came out here early to not cancel. All right, got it. Okay, got it. But just remember that even if I don't reply back, I'm not gonna cancel what I was saying, especially when I'm coming out early. Without sleep. All right, let me finish up this last scripture. Well, I'm about to be pretty much down the street. Ah, damn, bro. Man, forgive me, y'all. All right. They should be like man sparing none, but still spoiling and destroying those that fear the Lord. But they shall waste and take away their goods and cast them out of their houses. Hey, so that's what's coming. You know, we're going to have everything taken from us. And it says, then shall they be known who are my chosen, and they shall be tried as gold in the fire. So how we going to know who the chosen? Well, hey, through all this persecution and affliction, hey, we going to endure and still come out on top. Hey, but those of our people, the 2/3, hey, they're going to be completely broken down and overtaken by these things. Hey, so Edomites snapping pictures of us. That's the beginning stages of us standing on trial for this word. Us being in the chief place of concourse. That's the beginning stages of us actually confessing the name and the words of YAHAWASHI. Because it's all going to morph, hey, into something bigger than it is now. You know? We're not so much in danger of losing our life right now, but that's when it's going to come. That's what it's going to turn into. Let me see the scriptures. All right, so at the water for everybody that tuned in with me, gonna face the east to close out. Call hello Yahweh, Bahashim Yahawashai, Bahashim Kwakadash. Okay, so next time, Lord willing, Shalom.